let's say we're given the following information. Let's say we're told that angle X and angle Y are complementary. Complementary. Okay, so we want to know what is the measure of angle Y if angle X equals 45 degrees. So by definition, complementary means that these two angles sum up to give us a 90-degree angle. That's the definition of complementary angles. They add together to get 90 degrees. So if angle X is 45 degrees, we can find angle Y by subtracting 45 from 90. And that gives us 45 degrees. So the measure of angle Y is 45 if the measure of angle X is 45 as well. All right, very straightforward. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say we're given the measure, these are actually measures. I need to label that. The measure of angle X, let's say, is 82 degrees. We want to know what the measure of angle Y is. Well, we can find the measure of angle Y simply because we know that these two angles are complementary, so 90 minus 82 will give us the measure of angle Y, which is just 8 degrees. All right, not a whole lot to it. Let's do a few more of these. Let's say the measure of angle X is 29. So measure of angle X is 29 degrees. We want to know the measure of angle Y. The measure of angle Y is going to be 90 minus 29. And we know this because the two angles are complementary, so they should sum up to give us 90 degrees. So this will be 61 degrees. All right, let's do one more. Let's say the measure of angle X equals A. All right, here we're not given a value, but we can still find some representation for the angle Y. We're given angle X as an expression, so we can actually give angle Y as an expression. So the measure of angle Y is going to work the same, is just 90 degrees minus the measure of angle X. So 90 degrees minus, so 90 minus A. We'll put the degrees on the outside. Okay, because the whatever this expression equals is going to be a degree, so this is going to be the measure of angle Y, because these two angles are complementary. All right, let's take a look at another one. Let's say that we want to find the measure of the angle that is supplementary to angle Z. So we want to find the measure of the angle that's supplementary to angle Z. So two angles that are supplementary are going to add up to give us 180 degrees. All right, that's the special number. Just like complementary angles will sum up to give us 90 degrees, supplementary angles will sum up to give us 180 degrees. And we'll find these in a very similar way that we did up here. Let's say that we want to find the measure of the angle supplementary to angle Z. If angle Z is 45 degrees. So let's say the measure of angle Z is 45 degrees. Well, all we'll simply do is subtract 45 from 180. So we get 180 minus 45, and that'll give us 135 degrees. So the angle supplementary to angle Z, when angle Z is 45 degrees, is going to be the angle that's 135 degrees. All right, so far so good. Let's look at another one. Let's say the measure of angle Z is 98. Measure of angle Z is 98 degrees. We want to know what is the measure of the angle supplementary to angle Z. So all we do is subtract 98 degrees from 180, and that'll give us 82 degrees. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say the measure of angle Z is 23 degrees. We want to find the angle that's supplementary, the measure of the angle supplementary to angle Z. So all we do is subtract 23 from 180, and that's just going to give us 157 degrees. That's the measure of the angle that's supplementary to angle Z. Let's take a look at one more. Let's say the measure of angle Z is n. All right, so once again, just like up here, we have a variable, or we can have any expression, in this case a variable instead of a value, but this isn't anything to write home about. We'll just work it the same way. So the measure of the angle supplementary to angle Z is going to be 180 minus n degrees. All right, so not a whole lot to these. We're just using what we know about the relationships between complementary angles and the relationship between supplementary angles. Two angles that are complementary will add up to give you 90 degrees, or in other words, a right angle. And two angles that are supplementary will form a 180-degree angle, or a straight angle. All right, so this is actually very important to know. We'll be using this these two pieces of information quite extensively for the rest of this course. In the next section, we'll continue using something like this, but we'll be talking about linear pairs and adjacent angles and vertical angles. So I'll see you in the next video.